Hello and welcome back to another video on TGM Guitars, and that's been a little while since I uploaded, but I want to thank everyone for their support and subscribing to the channel. So as usual, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and do all that good stuff. It's really good to see the support on this channel, and hopefully I'll be bringing more videos soon. So let's jump into today's video. So I've been trying to think of what content I can bring lately, and to be honest I haven't actually bought any guitar gear since Christmas. The last thing I bought was a 12-string guitar, which was in the last video. So I thought I'll go through my pedal collection and pull out some of the pedals I haven't done a video on. I know I've done the big sort of gain shootout on the Vox, which was every single gain pedal I had in my collection, to kind of see which ones would be best with that amp, but I never really focused on them properly. So today we are going to be looking at this little thing here. So this is the Behringer UD300 Ultra Distortion. So this is basically a clone of the Boss DS2. I don't know if Behringer actually make these anymore, can't seem to find them, but you can pick them up used for about £30. And I think I paid about 25, so for some reason people think it's worth £5 more. But this was literally a pedal that I bought just to boost an order to get it to the shipping, or free shipping. So today we're going to be looking at this rather pink box here, the Behringer Ultra Distortion UD300. So I don't think Behringer make these anymore, but you can pick them up used for about £30. I know some people have been trying to get £65, which for a Behringer pedal is just crazy. Just go and buy the Boss OD2, which this is a clone of. So the reason I bought this was just because it was to boost an order. I needed to get to the free shipping, so £25. This got me there. So I know I did feature this in the AC30 gain shootout video, but it's never had its dedicated video. So I've been going through my pedal collection and seeing which I haven't done a video on, and this was the first one. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what it sounds like through an amplifier. Okay, so just a quick rundown of the signal path. We got my PRS Zach Myers going into the UD300, into my pedal board, into my Marshall DSL 100, then going into the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X, running a Madsen 1969 cab sim, and then we're straight into Cakewalk. So this is my bass sound, rather than saying clean, just in case it's a little bit clipped. To me it's fairly clipped. The reason I'm using the Marshall is because it has got multiple channels, so I can get the clean crunch. So just double check that is all working, and yeah, let's click it on. So this is everything at 12 o'clock with the switch set to 1. So it's got that sort of classic distortion sound. I know the actual turbo distortion was used by grunge bands, and I actually used to use this for my grunge sound in one of my old bands. So let's crank the distortion up a little bit. It can get a little bit fizzy, I've noticed, this pedal. So, I mean, it's got that chunky kind of, it could do power chords for days. You can understand why this was used by grunge bands or the like. So, yeah, I'm just going to play, maybe tweak some settings. I've got the pedal cam over here. Keep it on the Ultra 1 setting for now, and we'll just see what this sounds like as you sort of play about a few things. So, let's start with just adjusting the gain whilst I kind of just play some stuff. that is very muffled when you go all the way down on that tone. I kind of like the tone around 12 o'clock. But it's got kind of a slightly quacky sound to it. So let's just back that off a little. Now, quite interestingly, as you turn the gain up, it actually almost becomes a more usable pedal. I'm going to keep the level kind of low because I'm not trying to push the amp, I'm trying to just get sound out of this pedal. So, I mean, that's not too bad. Personally, I do prefer it on the 2 setting, which we're going to go on to in a second. It just kind of thickens things up a little bit more. So let's just reset everything. Click it down onto Ultra 2. And put that gain up a little bit like we did with the last scene. So yeah, that is very thick. Just put the tone down a little bit. Gain all the way up, why not? I always seem to do this in my videos. The tone does seem to actually affect that the gain structure a little bit. So yeah, that's I actually prefer it through this amp at least on the Ultra 1 setting, I think. Maybe I was wrong when I said the 2 setting was thicker. I think the 1 setting is actually thicker. There's just a lot more. I think the 2 setting, I might be wrong, correct me if I am, seems to have a little bit more gain, but that adds to the fizziness of things. So it actually sounds quite thick and nice, actually. Does seem to be a slight... don't know if it's because there's more bass end in it, but a slight sort of volume drop. But again, that could be because you've got the sort of more pushed gain. What we're going to do now is just chuck the amp over onto classic gain red setting, which will give us out a bit more crunch and a hell of a lot more volume. So let's bump that down a little bit. Try and match the peaks. I think this pedal definitely kind of leans more towards being on a cleaner amp. I'll tell you what, that has tamed that Ultra 2 set. yeah, that kind of interesting how kind of the structure of the pedal changes quite a lot. I actually prefer this on the cleaner amp, just using the pedal to do all the work. And lets the character come through. It's a bit like when you use a big muff. You want to use that on a clean, well, in my opinion, you should use it on a cleaner amp because it just kind of lets the pedal do the work and lets the pedal sound come through. And this is kind of similar. So what I'm going to do is switch over from humbuckers to some single coils, and we'll see what it sounds like with that. Okay, so single coils acquired. I've got my Fender Player Series Telecaster here, and yeah, let's see what it sounds like. First of all, we'll do nothing on. Classic Telecaster sound. And then the switch can be a little bit finicky on this. As you can see, as I'm pressing it multiple times. That first setting is definitely better, I think. Just adjust that a little bit. Level up a little bit to compensate for these. Quite thick. Sounds quite chunky with a Telecaster at least. I know you've got the sort of hot bridge pickup onto the 2 setting. Kind of got a more sort of classic tone there. So let's gain all the way up, has to be done, and back that tone off a little bit so it doesn't completely pierce through. Back onto Ultra 1. Yeah, I mean, that, I've got to be honest, it's not a bad pedal. So, yeah, I mean, obviously only a quick run through, just a little demo on singles, humbuckers. But yeah, that's the Behringer Ultra Distortion UD300. Okay, so I hope you liked that little insight into the Behringer UD300 Ultra Distortion. I've got to admit, when I thought I'd do this video, I thought, you know what, it's a pedal that I kind of chucked to the side when I got the more expensive ones. It's not one that I'd actually use nowadays, but I was quite surprised by how good that sounds. I know obviously it can come across a little bit differently on YouTube, but in the room, and I know I've got fairly bassy monitor speakers, that sounded quite good and quite usable. I can understand why the turbo distortion, which this is based on, was used by those grunge bands, because they wanted that big sort of ruckus sound. So yeah, not that it'll make it back onto the pedal board, but it's definitely a pedal I might get out every now and then. And I would have done an intro jam at the beginning of this video with just some sounds with that. And it pairs up quite nicely with a phaser. I think that actually sounds quite cool. Definitely works better on a cleaner amp. Was not too keen when I chucked that onto sort of the crunch setting of the Marshall. It just, everything got a little bit muddy. The pedal wasn't really coming through very nicely. So I think definitely this is a clean on its own pedal, which, to be honest, I used to use it with the Behringer 1960, which inherently is a crunch sound anyway. So maybe that's why I kind of went off the sound and didn't like it anymore. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Got a few other pedals which we might check out soon. A couple more Behringers actually, but to be honest, I don't really use compression, which is why I kind of bought a Behringer and chucked it to the side. So I'll see if I can figure that out and bring that pedal to you as well. But I've got the Behringer compressor. I've also got a vibrato, which I bought thinking it was something completely different. So that'll be an interesting video. And I think that's it for Behringer pedals I've got with me. I've got a phaser as well, which I did use extensively previously, but not currently got that pedal with me. So yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.